The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill. Next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat. It's where it's at.
5:25, middle of the week, Weird Wednesday. Join us today, 11 to 1 at Godfather's Pizza. Get signed up for the Flakes trip. Somebody I messaged with a lot, Kelly Larson. Her son has played in a basketball tournament the weekend of the trip giveaway for years, and this year he's not. So they can finally come to the giveaway, and she put off her trip to Bozeman today to come sign up at Godfather's in the Heights. I said, well, might be the last trip. Hell, you never know. And it's not like you can pick up the phone and call and book a room because that sucker is sold out. Yes, sir, we know who you are. Yes, sir, we have your credit card number. No, sir, you cannot buy a room this week because we're full. Folks, I'm going to give you a little piece of how I look at things, and because we do talk about so much political stuff, I have people ask me about what I think about who's going to win and what's going to happen in the upcoming election. Here's what the paper thinks. The newspaper thinks Donald Trump's going to win because they're running a story about how judges fear more violence on the upcoming January 6th. On the anniversary of an uprising that Trump had nothing to do with in the first place, and also another hit piece on Tim Sheehy. Park ranger involved in Tim Sheehy's gunshot debacle comes forward. You people. I'm going to quote my partner from yesterday. Who do you want? You want a guy that's become a zillionaire while making $180,000 a year to lead you? Or you want somebody who was in the military that fought for his country? And then got some messages about the last ad we played this morning. Folks, there's so much misinformation in the ads. And like I told the guy, the reason that these ads say whatever they want is they work. On the uninformed and the people who don't look into it, advertising works. That's why you get 23 flyers in your mailbox in one day during a political campaign. That's why it's nonstop political advertising. And Paul and I said the same thing. If it was our radio station, we'd be cashing those checks too. That's big money coming in.
A lot of dough.
Yeah.
Tester spent $71 million as of the 1st of October.
Mm-hmm.
So, and October is going to be his biggest month.
Yeah.
So, I'd cash him too if I was owner. The more I watch Kamala Harris and the more I listen to her, the more I wish she was a senior when I was a senior in high school. And I could have asked her to prom.
We know what kind of girl she is.
I would have loved to known a woman like that. She has no clue, folks. Really. I mean, be serious. She has no experience in anything outside of being a public servant.
And the majority of people aren't voting for her. They're voting against Trump because they hate the mean tweets and the orange man.
Something. It's crazy. Like I said, there's a neighbor of mine out there. You drive by their place and it says another rural voter for Jon Tester. And I'm thinking, how in the hell could you vote for him? You know what he's trying to do to your life? Mm-hmm. I would love to stop and say, you're not going to be able to run those cows.
No, you're not.
All that public land that you have.
Oh, I heard that's for sale.
Yeah, state land, BLM land. They're gonna remove agriculture from that if they can. All kinds of things. I don't know how you could be in agriculture and root. Donald Trump's talking about making China buy more food from our farmers. What has Kamala Harris said about farming? Really, you folks answer the question. What has she said about farming or agriculture in the past 6 months?
Not a word.
Nothing. She has no idea about it. Nothing. She uses the same lines in every interview that she does, and she won't do any news media interviews. Folks, this woman is reckless. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. Folks, look at the shape of the world. Are you oblivious to your own surroundings? Look where we were 5 years ago around the globe. Things were relatively quiet.
Yeah.
It was a peaceful planet.
You can't argue that right now.
No. When Donald Trump was president, it was a peaceful planet. And now we are on the verge of World War III. At any moment with those two in office that have no clue, folks. I just don't know. No one would hire them. If you were an employer looking for an employee, you wouldn't hire them. The Middle East right now is a quagmire. The Biden-Harris administration have enriched Iran to the point where they're funding terrorism and attacks around the world again. President Trump had a peace accord with 5 of the Mideast nations before he left the White House, and that has just been destroyed. We hadn't lost a person in Afghanistan in 18 months. Not one soldier had died. We built the most modern, beautiful Air Force base in the world in Bagram, which is about a half hour from China. They knew it, and they went, oh, crap. They gave it up. Harris, Biden gave it away, surrendered. Something you don't hear about a lot, Africa. Africa, folks, is a mess. Down in the Congo and places like that, it is a wreck now. Down in Africa, North Korea is on the move. Hypersonic ballistic missiles that they can launch into the United States. They have teamed up with Russia. They sent 15,000 troops to help them in their war against Ukraine. There's another one. Russia invaded Ukraine. That war is going on. Hezbollah and Hamas, because of the funding they got from Iran, because we made them wealthy and gave them their money back under Biden and Harris, are now funding the war of terrorism against Israel and the rest of the world. Folks, it is currently a wreck down in South America. People don't hear much about that. South America is melee down there right now. Venezuela and other countries, it is a total disaster, all under their administration. And you're gonna give them another 4 years. Another 4 years of them overseeing what goes on in this world. China is ready to invade Taiwan in any minute. They had 153 airplanes and 20 ships down there last week poking the bear. They weren't anywhere near that place when Trump was president. They interviewed Xi Jinping here a few weeks ago, and Xi Jinping said, you got along with Trump. He said, well, Trump's crazy. I don't know what he's going to do. Because they know Trump. We never got involved in anything. No wars. No wars. Dizzy Cheney. This woman has no business acronym. She has no idea about an economy. Government money. She's promising checks to every group and every organization out there. $25,000 for a house. $20,000 for student loans. $20,000 if you're Latino for this and that and this and that. Your money. We're broke. We're broke. I saw yesterday the Biden administration is handing out billions and billions of dollars now to charities out of the infrastructure bill. And these are charities where there were all important key Democrat leaders and people involved in those charities, and they're getting stipends, bonuses. They're using that money to dole out payback, and you folks want to vote for them. What's her economic policy? Government's money, more government spending. That's her economic policy? Trump's trying to grow the economy. As businesses and corporations grow, so does the economy. That's how you grow. That's how you grow a nation's economy. You let the nation grow it. You let the businesses grow it. Give them back more money. What happened when he did it last time? Walmart passed out $1,500 bonuses to every employee in their network.
And that doesn't get talked about, does it?
And all that money then gets spent. And then other businesses do well. No tax on tips. No tax on Social Security. No tax on overtime. Cutting red tape. And people like John Tester and Chuck Schumer. Those are the ones you got to watch, folks. These are the dangerous people, because they're the ones that send everything in to Kamala for her signature if she's president. They're the dangerous ones. Not on my watch. Not on my watch. You're a lying slob is what you are. I'm a Republican and I support John Your senator tried to impeach your guy that you love so much and have voted for. He tried to impeach him twice. Your guy that you're supporting. What do you have to say about that? You phonies. Voted. I'm trying to cut spending. He voted for every single stimulus package that Chuck Schumer put in front of him. Because, folks, he has got his lips attached to that certain part of Chuck Schumer's body. And in return, he becomes wealthy. That's how Tester grew his wealth. Tester didn't grow his wealth and buy all that farm machinery because of farming. How do you know? Because I'm in it. I'm one myself, doing it for 40 years. Folks, wake up. It's a transformational election this year that will forever never change our country if the results don't go well. It's over because they will never relinquish power ever again. They've already said they're not going to relinquish it anyway. Where's all the questions for Kamala and all these other people about, will you accept the results of the election? None of your other candidates ever did. Al Gore, John Kerry, Hillary Clinton, they all challenged the results of the election, but that's okay. That's okay. Article today. Harris said she's ready if Trump tries to prematurely declare victory. She's ready.
Well, we haven't had the election yet.
Oh, they're already ready. They're going to challenge every single thing, folks. Oh, yeah. An insurrection. They're planning theirs already. But that's okay. They have the media behind them. A bunch of crooked bastards. We have the resources and expertise should Trump try to subvert the election. Let's see you see the seed they're planning already? If Trump wins, the only way that Trump will have won, according to the Democrats, is if he were going to cheat, so they're going to challenge it. They're already planting that seed, folks. Already. That's why I think what he said was so important about make it too big to rig.
Right.
Joe Biden told everybody yesterday they should lock up Donald Trump. Remember when Trump said lock her up for Hillary? Joe Biden said lock him up. Of anybody that should be locked up, it'd be you two-faced phony bastard. God, this guy took millions from China, Ukraine, Russian oligarchs. This guy is crooked as hell. 7 sexual assault with women.
That just magically went away without a mention.
Tara Reid, what about her? All that kind of stuff. Cocaine in the White House, the laptop, all that. That man should have been in prison 15 years ago. Messing with his babysitter when she was 15 years old. Oh, he is a piece. And you want to vote for him? Go ahead. You vote for him. You have no idea. I wish you would call and argue your points. Trump's a felon. Well, the Democrats in Nebraska just gave all the felons the right to vote, so why shouldn't he have rights?
Get ready for a spooktacular October at the Roadside Event Center. Friday, October 11th, join them for Bingo, a fundraiser for Pack the Place in Pink. Get tickets now for Dueling Pianos on Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th, and plan for a Halloween weekend filled with fun. The Blue Cat has fantastic food and drinks, sushi and sliders on Sundays, Italian night Mondays, prime rib Saturdays, and loaded Bloody Marys all weekend. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill, Northern Avenue in Huntley, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
And by the way, that's under appeal. He'll win all of the appeals on that case. He's the only man in the history of the United States of America that had to undergo 4 trials at one time in 4 different venues. That's never happened. That hasn't happened to Duncan McKenzie, Pretty Boy Floyd, John Dillinger, any of them. Al Capone. None of them ever had to face 4 trials at one time in 4 different areas. But they used the DOJ and the Attorney General's office to do it. Another headline today, Russia and Iran may fuel the violent post-election protest. Well, damn right they will. They don't want Trump. Remember the Russia collusion story that Hillary Clinton paid for? Whatever happened to those charges?
Went away.
That investigation. Remember the House committee on all this crap? The Joe Biden? What did we get? What results, folks, did you and I get for our tax dollars out of that? I'm just as mad at those Republicans as I am the Democrat. We spent millions investigating, so we come up with all this. Okay, and what? Well, see, we were right. Well, good. Nothing came from it. Iran and Russia, post-election protests, funding them. What about George Soros? You know what he's going to fund? All those protesters that burned down cities and stuff? They were all organized by him and their groups. I think people understand how serious it is. Headline today, more Republicans are voting early and they're breaking records. 19 million Republicans have already voted. We have to vote early because something's going to happen on election day that's going to screw up the system like they always do. Remember what they did in Maricopa County last year so they could get that Senate seat? Mechanical problems, weather problems, polling problems, lack of workers, blah, blah, this and that. Vote early and everybody's getting in. And anytime the Republicans said something anywhere in America, the liberal media and the Democrats all say it's misinformation.
Yeah.
No matter what it is. No matter what it is. Mark has a beard. That's not true. That's misinformation. I'm looking at him. I don't care. That's misinformation. In Nevada, for instance, as of Tuesday, 6,000 more Republicans than Democrats have already cast early ballots. That's never happened. They're not going to like that. That means they have to print more. They're going to have to print twice as many as they normally do to pad those boxes. North Carolina, Georgia reporting record turnouts on the first day of in-person early voting. Even places where Hurricane Helene impacted them, they're seeing record amount of people. Democrats have sent in 350,000 more mail-in ballots than Republicans in Pennsylvania, but the GOP is making up ground by voting early in the competitive states. It's big. It's important. And we'll see. We'll see what happens next on Wednesday, 2 weeks from today.
2 weeks.
We're going to know, and it's either going to be somber or celebratory, one of the two. America, you have to know how things were 5 years ago compared to where we are now. The cost of things. Are you oblivious to your own surroundings, your own financial situations, your own security?
The first ones to complain about what it costs, but they don't look at the cause, the root of it, where it came from, what's different.
Inflation.
I always vote blue. I'm blue. That's just who I am.
Interest rates, everything.
Paul and I looked at pickups yesterday.
It's crazy.
Unbelievable.
Crazy. Look at the border. Look what that has done to America. Look what it's done. You don't even recognize your own country. You heard the report a few weeks ago. 15,000 convicted murderers released. 13,000 convicted sexual predators. Convicted. Released. Into your communities and towns. I don't care. I'm voting for the Democrats. They support all that kind of stuff. You're stupid. You're just stupid. You've been brainwashed. Dumb. Another article today. One of the most important signs of how people will vote is how much education they have. Voters who attend... listen to this crap. Voters who attend college are more likely to back Democrats. You're damn right.
Yeah, and why is that, do you think?
That's exactly right.
Is it education or indoctrination?
Because of Professor Poop up there at MSU Billings.
Oh, my God.
That's right. They're libs. They're crazy. These kids come out, they have no clue. Only what they have been beaten down with for years, starting in high schools all the way through college. And you know, it's funny because the Democrats are the richest people in the world. Richest ones in the world. You love all these men playing in women's sports. You Democrat dads out there. I'm talking to you. You Democrat dads. You got to feel good about your daughter going into the locker room after PE class and having a man in there showering. Where are the Democrat dads? Don't you have any balls? You might as well be in the other locker room. How come you're not standing up? Look at the advances that women have made with Title IX over the last 30 years in women's sports, the equality and NCAA competitions, Olympics, everything. Leaps and bounds. And now the people you vote for are letting men compete with your daughters because they feel like they're a woman. Now, they haven't transitioned into a woman completely. You want me to go over the list of things they need to do again? That's right. They can't be the plug-in. They've got to be the socket, folks. That's right. If you want to be a woman, you got to go through the same thing they do every 30 days. Oh, yeah. Oh, you don't want that part. You just want to look like one. You don't want the other things that come with it. Hot flashes, the changes. You don't want any of that kind of stuff. No. You just want to be on the women's swim team. It makes you feel like one. Well, if you're going to feel like one, then go all the way. You Democrat men are voting for them. Yeah, you're the one supporting all that. All these men in girls' locker rooms. Your daughter. You got to feel really good about that, don't you? Where are all you hunters out there? You hunters that have pickups and guns. They want you in an electric vehicle. You're not allowed to have one of those gas-guzzling pickups to go hunting with. Government buyback on your weapons. That's Kamala Harris's. You support that? You're a Democrat, man.
And that's not going to be optional.
No. You don't think if she gets control of the House and Senate, these things aren't going to happen? Where are you at? I don't care. I'm voting for her. You're dumb. Bill Cole vote for her. He's an idiot. Trump wants to cut taxes and help. Trump wants to cut taxes and reduce regulation so all of those empty buildings down here, downtown on First Avenue North, can all fill up again. We can have small restaurants, small businesses, retail shop. He wants to cut. Bill Cole doesn't support that. John Tester won't even come out and support Kamala Harris. Why not? He knows. I've been praying every night. God, give us our country back. Maintain America as we love it and know it. I got stupid kids that can't see through the light. Been brainwashed. And I love my kids. Well, I'm guessing it's probably 3-1. Probably 3-1. But still, I don't know how you could do it, especially in your professions. You folks, you want government to be in charge of every medical decision that you make? Every one. What doctor you go to. Look at Obamacare. Look what that did to you and your insurance premiums. Are you mad about that?
Forgotten.
Yeah, forgot about it.
People have forgotten.
You wait till you start needing it and your deductible is $8,000 out of your pocket. And you're going, what happened to my insurance? Well, you haven't met your deductible yet. People don't think about things like that. Like I've always said, they live their lives totally different than how they vote.
Fact.
No doubt in my mind. You live your life like a free American. You live your life like a conservative American out there, choosing all the things in life that you want to do and you enjoy. Those freedoms. You live differently than how you vote. But get them in. Get the ballots in early. I voted. Wilson voted.
Yeah.
We're already in. Drop them off down there. They got guys out there collecting them. I saw the picture online of a guy trying to get the election box off of the pole up there.
I saw that
Already.
Mm-hmm. And that's one we saw.
And that, he looked like a young kid. Looked to me like he was in his 20s, low 20s. What do you think made him do that? Huh? What do you think? What influenced him to do that, folks? It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be ugly. That's why it has to, for the good of the country, it has to be too big of a win to cause any problems. It has to be overwhelming. The message has to be sent. It has to be a resounding victory. Either way, actually, or else there's going to be problems.
Get ready for a spooktacular October at the Roadside Event Center. Friday, October 11th, join them for Bingo, a fundraiser for Pack the Place in Pink. Get tickets now for Dueling Pianos on Friday and Saturday, October 18th and 19th. And plan for a Halloween weekend filled with fun. The Blue Cat has fantastic food and drinks. Sushi and sliders on Sundays, Italian night Mondays, prime rib Saturdays, and loaded Bloody Marys all weekend. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill, Northern Avenue in Huntley, just 9 miles east of the Metro Park exit.
I had 24 degrees this morning at the ranch. It was 22 in Acton when I came in.
Wow.
So, Mark, you know what that means?
No.
I am done watering petunias.
Oh, look, everybody.
Finally.
The big talkers
That's
here.
right. No more watering petunias. I'm draining that water tank because I think 24 will do them in.
Yeah. I saw a picture on Facebook, the guy that blew out my sprinklers last week. He and his wife are on a beach in San Diego. Best money I've spent this year. That means the end of the season.
Yep. 24 degrees. I came in and then I came down 27th. I see the hub is no longer the hub.
Okay.
They wrecked that. It's a pile of nothing but trash and rubble now. They tore that down yesterday. And Denny's was there, wasn't it? Right there. That's gone.
Yeah, because they had the fire outside in the bushes. Denny's is gone.
Yeah. In fact, Denny's is closing now another 150 of their lowest performing restaurants to try to turn around their sales. How many stories did we get like this 5 years ago, folks? How many stories 5 years ago did we get that Walgreens was closing 1,500 drugstores? How many stories 5 years ago did we get about CVS, Red Lobster, Denny's, Last Mart closed? I mean, how many of those do you recall from 5 years ago? The economy was roaring. People couldn't get enough help. Wages grew exponentially. Employment among African Americans, Asian Americans, women, Hispanics. Not now. Company made the announcement yesterday. The locations aren't revealed. Restaurants represent 10% of their total. So I'll do the math for those of you that went to some of our institutions where our math proficiency levels are 30%. By the way, what has this administration done for education? Give me the one thing the Biden and Harris administration have done for education in America. Can anybody give me anything? Trump wants to let people choose where they send their kids because obviously they're concerned that where their kids are going, they're not getting what they need. Nothing. Denny said family dining, the category in which they compete, has lost the most customer traffic since 2020. The the year that they took over. They had a value menu, boosted some sales in the recent quarter, but got to cut overhead. They've been around. Denny's been around 70 years. Their fifth quarter in a row of year-over-year declines. Now, hey, all you assholes, is that misinformation? Well, that's misinformation. That's what they'll say.
Yeah.
It's not misinformation. Restaurant inflation, killing them. That's right. Why? Grocery prices, killing restaurants too. When people do go out to eat, now they're heading to fast food casual brands like a Chipotle or others. Family dining has lost the most customer traffic since 2020. So we still have the one, I think, on the West End, don't we, out there by Fuddruckers?
Yeah.
That Denny's.
Yep, no, that's it.
Yeah.
Just had to disappoint my daughter because she and her friends like to go to Denny's. She said one of these daddy-daughter nights for dinner, can we go to Denny's? I said no.
Denny's? Why do they want to go to Denny's?
No idea, but I'm not going.
What?
I said, do you know how many other quality restaurants are within a 1 mile radius of the West End Denny's where we could go and have a better meal? I know, but I like Denny's. Well, okay, go with your friends.
Well, the one Perkins is shutting down. Food inflation has killed people and their wallets. And yet, you're going to vote for more of it? You can't put trillions upon trillions of government dollars into an economy chasing the same amount of goods. That's why you have to let businesses do it. Why? Business and corporations, they produce something. The government doesn't produce anything but money. That's all they produce. And that drives inflation. Any economist will tell you that. You give companies a break. You increase companies' profits, cut their expenses. They share it. They give it to their employees. It keeps the cost of their merchandise down. The public sector can then buy things. That's how a robust economy works. Not by government printing money, you dummies. McDonald's was in the news today. Federal officials said E. coli food poisoning has been linked to a McDonald's quarter-pound hamburgers has sickened 49 people in 10 different states. Boy, that's going to be like the hot coffee thing. Everybody, the CDC said, everyone interviewed in connection with that outbreak had reported eating at a McDonald's before falling ill, and most mentioned eating a quarter pounder. The death of an older person was reported in Colorado. One child had to be hospitalized with kidney complications. The infections were reported in Colorado, Iowa, Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska, Oregon, Utah, Wisconsin, Wyoming, and Montana. Colorado had 26 cases. Nebraska had 9. So you can see it was regional.
Right.
Those patties were sent out to our neck of the woods out here. That's where they were sent. Specific ingredient has not been identified yet. They're focused on either the onions or the beef. That's because somebody took a dump in the onion field. What?
There's something you won't get on a national podcast.
Well, that's right. You know why? Because you don't get the truth. It's one thing we've made a living on is by giving people the truth, telling people what they're thinking. That's what happened. The company has halted distribution of the slivered onions and removed the quarter-pound U from menus in affected states until they get it cleaned up. E. coli, harbored in the guts of animals found in the environment. Infections can cause severe illness, fever, stomach cramps, bloody diarrhea, FHD as we refer to it very often. The news comes in an already tough year for McDonald's. Its global same-store sales fell for the first time in 4 years. Inflation, weary customers skip eating out. So they came up with their $5 meal, but that deal didn't include the quarter pounder. McDonald's shares dropped 9% after the announcement yesterday. So there you go. Inflation. All these people that quit eating at restaurants, all these people that quit eating out, it's too expensive. All these people that are struggling at the supermarkets and have seen all their costs go up for everything, gasoline. And they're still going to vote for the people that gave it to you.
Exactly right.
They're still going to give you that gave it to the people that gave it to you. How far does a banana have to go up there before you start feeling the pressure? We used that analogy before, too.
Yes, we did.
They keep pushing it up there further and further. And yes, I'm going to keep voting for that person. Don't you want to vote for the person is going to get that banana out of there? You make no sense to me. I can't even have a discussion with you. I don't even talk about it. Mark says the same thing. He's got friends and stuff. They start to... Mark just avoids the conversation. You cannot talk any sense into them people.
No.
Whatsoever. None. Zero. You can't do it. You just can't. You just can't. Vote early, folks. Vote early. Drop them off. Drop them off. And a little sad note this morning is Fernando Valenzuela died. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
He was only 63. Cy Young Award and Rookie of the Year winner together in 1981. He was a phenom. Boy, he took over. I mean, Fernando Media. Remember that?
I wasn't even a baseball fan, and I remember the huge surge in Hispanic who went to the game.
Oh, unbelievable. Yep. Fernando Media. He was a national hero, and I mean, there were signs up all over the place. People loved him. He's a great guy. Great personality. He had a job on the Dodgers, for the Dodgers. He did their television broadcast. He would do it in their Spanish language broadcast.
Okay.
But he quit and left his job in September without explanation. He was reported to have been hospitalized this month. He'll be honored during the World Series at Dodger Stadium. Still popular with fans. Always wanted his autograph, photos. Fernando down in Mexico, he was like Michael Jordan here. Even after the years after he retired, Michael Jordan still famous. I mean, everybody loves him. Well, look at Shohei Ohtani in Japan.
Yep.
There were more viewers for the Dodgers series from Japan than there were the United States. And it's going to be that way in the World Series.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
You know, Fernando was the same thing. Hall of Famer. Pitched a no-hitter in 1990. That just made him catch fire again. Youngest of 12 children in Mexico. 12. God, I should have had 12. One of them would have stayed home and helped. Yesterday I was putting in railroad ties and poles. I'm building a little calf. I'm building a calf shelter for when we get blizzards in the winter. Give the calves a place to get out of the blizzards. Blizzards are hard on calves.
Right.
And I've wanted to do it for so long. And
Paul, all you had to do was say something. We'll get the band back together and
I know
build another one.
I know it. I thought of that yesterday, folks. Believe you me, I thought of every one of you folks yesterday when I was doing that, because I'm using all the material that the destruction crew, the teardown crew, saved when we had our barn raising.
Right.
I'm using all that material.
I'm sure you've seen it when we leave in the morning and drive down Montana. There's a building they're putting a new roof on.
Oh, yeah.
And that is a pretty good-sized roof. And I was laughing yesterday driving by because that roof does not have nearly as many screws as your roof does.
I know it. I'm not lying to you folks. I thought of all you great people yesterday when I was doing that. I thought, man, I thought, thanks a lot. You saved all that material. Now here I am working my ass off, putting it back in the ground again.
But you wouldn't be happy if you weren't.
I know it. It was a beautiful day. I loved it. And of course, I got the tractor, and all these cows come running over there because they think I'm going to feed them because they heard a tractor run. No. You are not going to like me Friday because I'm shipping Friday. So, but I was putting poles in the ground yesterday. I lost my train of mind now, my train of thought where I was.
Nice weather, leftover material, screws.
Something, yeah. Because we were talking about Fernando there. But he, for crap's sakes. Good God. Folks, remember once again, folks, if you happen to win the Flakes trip, check your ticket. Do not get C2C on the airplane. Guess what this is? I'll be a son of a bitch. I mean, God Wilson, he is real. You think I'm relentless,
I
folks?
do think you're relentless.
No, you think I'm relentless and never let up? Fernando. Ding. Ding. You hear those dings going off all the time. Dings. Well, I might as well finish the article about Fernando then.
Yeah.
They said he's one of the most influential Dodgers and he belongs on the Dodger Mount Rushmore. Yeah, I would probably agree with that.
I think so, yeah.
Had a great year, and then it was hit by the players' strike. Had a great connection to the Latino community. After Venezuela had his no-hitter against the Cardinals in 1990, Hall of Fame broadcaster Vin Scully said, "If you have a sombrero, throw it to the sky." Now, today, they would call Vin Scully a racist for that.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Wouldn't they?
Yeah.
He was nicknamed El Toro by the fans. He had that unorthodox pitching motion. I remember that. He would kind of look up towards the sky and around before he would throw it. Mm-hmm. He was a chubby little guy, too, but spoke little English in his early career, and he always had trouble communicating with his catchers. So this is something Mark Wilson will tell you in C2C. Well, he couldn't speak English very well, so their catcher, Mike Scioscia, went and learned Spanish in order to be able to communicate with Fernando Valenzuela.
Now, see, that's interesting.
Yeah, see, that's what you get in C2C. He had 10 home runs as a hitter, as a pitcher.
Wouldn't have thought that.
Yep. Then he got some shoulder problems, but he retired in 1997. Youngest child of a family of 12. Used to tag along when his older brothers played baseball. That's how he started. But left this world too early, folks. So many of us know people that have left this world way too early. Mm-hmm. Way too early. We don't know why. Only one person knows why. And I guess we'll all find out someday. Some sooner than others, right, Mark? When that big pole drops on you when you're putting that building up out there, down you go.
Well, I'm just paraphrasing what you're saying with this song. If I had to do it all again,
yeah, there you go.
I would, my friend.
Yeah, Fernando. Oh God! Oh, don't forget, we got the school resource officers. We're going to put the goggles on today.
Yeah,
and find out what it's like to be inebriated. Well, I will.
What does that mean?
To be under the influence of THC or other ingredients while driving. Mm-hmm. We purchased them to use with the kids in the school. So we're going to do that this morning. That'll be about 7:30 or so. So, God.
So, Fernando Valenzuela played a lot of baseball, was a pitcher, and passed early. Be careful today, okay?
Yeah, I'm not playing baseball today.
No, I know, but neither was he.
Yeah.
Just sitting there minding his business.
Yeah.
Probably doing something for his calves. Boom.
Yeah, I'm sure he was, Mark. Yeah, boom. There he goes. There he goes.
First news coming up, 20 after 6.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Events Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.